So this video is going to discuss the 5 favorite mods that I did in the early days to the machine that really took it to a good level. I'm not going to talk about the advanced ones because this video is more going to be geared for the person that's going to buy a machine and looking to do some mods that are going to make a difference. So the first mod would be the skid plate. The second mod would be the Shock Therapy Dual Rate Spring Kit. The third mod would be the Dura Clutch. The fourth mod would be the Gilliman Tune. And then fifth is more of a comfort issue, but a lot of people complain about it. I had issues with the noise of the machines. The HMF Dual Quiet Loop Exhaust shaves off a lot of noise. So let's get on into the mod. Okay, so here's the full-length skid plate. I got it from Super ATV. As you can see, there's some pretty good gouges on it. I've used it hard, and it's done a good job protecting the machine. So with this is a 1/2-inch UHMW. So with a 1/2-inch skid plate, or any skid plate, as long as it's upgraded, you can see right there how thick it is. Not only do you protect the bottom of the machine, but you give yourself a tool getting over things that you can just bump over the top of them and slide right over them. I also added these rock sliders. These are factory UTV. You can see right there, there's a good gouge on that one. But they do the same thing. They allow you to slide over the sides of sharp rocks, and it really gives the machine good protection and keeps you from getting hung up. The mod I'm going to talk about now, I'd put second in the list, and that is the Shock Therapy Dual Rate Spring Kit. What makes it a true dual rate spring kit is, if you look right here, there's a crossover ring in there. And what that does is when you compress down, the spacer slides up and down the shock body, and it hits that and it stops. When you compress to the point where that stops, you're no longer using this spring anymore. Now this heavier duty spring is doing all the work. Once you go back down, in this mode, they're both doing a little bit. So what it does, it gives you a nice cushy ride. Along with if you preload it, you can crank down on the preload. Before I put the portals on it, I had 2 inches worth of preload cranked in, so actually I had 1 inch worth of preload, which gave me 2 inches of lift, and I sat up higher, which is exactly what I needed. With the portals, I had to drop it back so I could get it inside the garage, because the garage door became a lift. This is the rear spring. Again, you can see that crossover ring right there, and all in all, the Shock Therapy Dual Rate Spring Kit made a big difference. The ride was better, cushier, going down a regular bumpy road. When you get to where your shocks are really doing a lot, that crossover ring really puts a halt to the cushier part of it and puts you into the heavier part, which is what you need when you start to bottom out. What I really like about the Dura Clutch is it's got constant grab from the very start. You have a centrifugal force clutch that grabs the outer clutch, and your belt is always in engagement on the clutch. So you actually have a lower gear, because normally your clutch has to close and start clamping onto the belt to get your traction, and by this time the diameter of that primary pulley is a larger diameter. So the Dura Clutch grabs right from the beginning, so you've got a lower gear because you're a smaller diameter on your primary clutch. So it really grabs, gives great performance. Great mod. I definitely, it wasn't one of my first ones, but it would definitely be, if I ever build another machine, it would be it. I'm putting it third right after shock therapy. So now I'm going to talk about the Gilliman tune. There are so many benefits to the Gilliman tune. Just to name a couple, it reduces your speed limiter. So when you're in low gear, you can get to 40 miles an hour, where before you were limited just shy of 30. It also drops the engine temp at which your fan kicks on at, which is a big advantage when you're in hot climate. You don't want to let it get too far away from you. There's a whole list of things on the Gilliman website that you get benefits from the tune. Those are a couple that I really like, along with the better performance. It does increase your performance, and tuned properly with the clutch, it can give you really, really good numbers. Okay, so this mod I want to talk about, I put it number 5, only because it's a little bit of performance, but it's a lot of comfort. The engine's running right now in idle, and as you can see and hear, it's pretty quiet. The machine is way quieter than it used to be, and that's because of the HMF dual quiet loop exhaust. Made things pretty quiet inside the machine. Very happy with what it did. Incidentally, I'm sitting inside the machine with the engine running in at idle, and I'm going to rev it up a little bit so you can hear the noise from the cab. Yes, it gets a little noisier, but I think you can still hear me. I don't know. I'll know once I edit this video. But I'm up at 2,000 RPMs. There's 3,000. There's 4,000. That's 4,000. So the bottom line with the HMF dual quiet loop exhaust, you can talk to your passenger when you're driving down the road at 45 miles an hour. It's not near as loud as it used to be.
Well, there you have it. My list of the top 5 mods that I would do to a new machine. I will be coming out with another list of the top 5 advanced mods, which will include the portals and some other stuff I did that takes it to that kind of a level. But I hope you enjoyed the list, and thank you for joining us.